So looking back at how far we've come in our first 75 years makes me wonder what UNC Charlotte will look like 75 years from now. I did notice it said that was our first hotel, so apparently we're looking at others, Niles. Once again, good morning. This is my opportunity to talk with you about the general state of the university and to outline the most significant work ahead for the coming year by all of our administrative divisions. But before I go any further, Provost Lorden recognized several faculty members who have achieved significant accomplishments and terms of service during the past academic year. I'd like to give them another hand, please. So I'd also like to highlight a handful of staff members who've earned recognition for efforts above and beyond the call of duty by being named Employees of the Year in several categories. I'd like to ask that each staff member stand and be recognized as their name is called. So in the Devotion to Duty category, Mindy Sides Walsh. The award for innovation went to the Return to Campus Kit group, which included Katarina Finlater, Horace Litch, Rochelle Skipworth, and Rick Torres. For Human Relations, Krista Collins. For Community and Public Service, Angie Williams. And in the Safety and Heroism category, Chris Gagner. Thank you all. So what have we been up to over the last year? Well, in addition to the listening tour that I mentioned earlier, we've also conducted a comprehensive strategic planning process involving feedback from more than 4,700 members of Niner Nation. Dr. Sharon McDade, a consultant with Greenwood Asher and Associates, provided excellent leadership in facilitating the process and keeping us on track with the ambitious schedule that we established. The process was guided by a strategic planning committee of 22 members, representing faculty, staff, administrators, and students. It was co-chaired by two faculty members, Dr. Pinku Mukherjee and Dr. George Banks. This committee worked diligently throughout the process to come up with a plan that I believe truly captures the heart of this university and the vision that we want to be in the future. With a total of 10,313 individual data points, I love that someone counted each one, so across the discovery and vetting phases, I think you'll have to agree this was a very comprehensive process. The resulting plan, which we're calling Shaping What's Next, will roll out a little later this semester and will fuel the next stage of the university's evolution over the next decade. I'll be sharing more with you in the coming weeks, but just to give you a little sneak peek, and Joan mentioned some of this also, the new strategic plan will focus on 4 key areas. First of all, our commitment to transforming students' lives through access, affordability, and student success. Second, our desire to be nationally recognized as a top-tier research university. Third, our commitment to driving progress through outreach in our city and state as North Carolina's urban research university. And fourth, our commitment to being a leader in diversity, equity, inclusion, and engagement. We've also gone through an intentional process over the last several months to unify our institutional brand into one that's more recognizable, not just in North Carolina, but around the country and beyond. This rebranding process has involved getting broad feedback from approximately 5,000 campus and external constituents, and I want to thank you all for your involvement. At the end of my remarks, we'll share the official unveiling of the new university brand that we've all been waiting for. So I'm excited about it, and really, this is off script, but we've had 2 logos. We're unifying, we're simplifying, and we're moving to consistency so people do recognize us. I'm very excited. And we're emphasizing Charlotte. This past year was difficult in a number of ways, as all of us can attest. Yet, UNC Charlotte set a record for enrollment, 30,146 students. We set a record for fundraising, nearly $39 million. Joan mentioned we received the largest grant in the university's history, and we were competitively selected by the American Association of State Colleges and Universities as the recipient of the 2021 Excellence in Innovation Award for Campus Pandemic Response in the Urban category. This is a feather in our cap and a testament to the hard work, dedication, and innovation of our faculty and staff. A number of significant accomplishments and achievements were also realized in our various divisions. I'm going to highlight a few of those, and I see many of the vice chancellors. If I don't hit the highlight that you wanted, I apologize. So I'm just giving little snippets. In academic affairs, Provost Lorden has already detailed for you the excellent work underway and planned for the Division of Academic Affairs, a division that she has led with distinction since 2003. I must say, I was so impressed with what Academic Affairs was able to accomplish during the 2021 academic year. We, Academic Affairs collectively, gave new meaning to the words pivot and flexibility. We're one of the few institutions in the UNC system, and indeed in the entire country, that was able to keep classes running and students progressing throughout the pandemic. Not only did we keep our academic enterprise afloat, we grew in some exciting ways, as Provost Lorden has already outlined. In addition to the successes in enrollment and graduation, research funding, and new academic programs, we also expanded the 49er Next program to 6 North Carolina community colleges, which will help create a seamless transition for countless transfer students. In diversity and inclusion, I want to make mention of our newly created office. As you likely know, within my first month on the job, the first personnel decision I made was to appoint Dr. Cheryl Waite-Spellman as the interim special assistant to the Chancellor for Diversity and Inclusion. UNC Charlotte has a strong record in the area of diversity and inclusion, but I felt it was important to hire a senior cabinet-level leader to establish an office focused solely on diversity, equity, and inclusion in order to coordinate what seemed at times as several disjointed initiatives. We want to harness that and make sure we see it collectively. This, in turn, will help us be more effective in achieving our audacious diversity and inclusion goals. You'll see in the strategic plan that's coming out, this is one of the key focus areas. It's also woven intentionally through all of the other focus areas. A national search chaired by Dr. Kevin Bailey is currently underway to identify a permanent Chief Diversity Officer to continue building upon the great foundation that Dr. Waite-Spellman has established during this interim period. In business affairs, led by Interim Vice Chancellor Larry Kelly, the division has worked hard to manage the distribution, tracking, and reporting of HERF and state coronavirus relief funds. They've also completed construction of the new science building, which will be dedicated at the end of October, and they've developed a facilities capital action plan. University advancement under the direction of Vice Chancellor Niles Sorensen. Not only did the university advancement team set a new fundraising record during a global pandemic, I might add, but they were also instrumental in getting me introduced and connected with the right people in Charlotte and beyond during my first year. The advancement division also scheduled a multitude of events in whatever format they could pull off, given CDC guidance at the time. This included a live commencement, which was scheduled in a new venue with less than 90 days notice, and they executed it flawlessly. University Advancement also managed to complete construction and hold an in-person grand opening and dedication of the new Marriott Hotel and Conference Center, which was funded by the University Foundation and which has already proven to be an incredibly valuable meeting space. For this academic year or fiscal year, the Advancement Division has set a lofty fundraising goal of $45 million, and they're busily planning a year-long 75th anniversary celebration, along with the Chancellor's installation and the first ever Niner Nation Week, which will happen in early November. The Office of One IT. Major kudos go to the Office of One IT under the leadership of Dr. Mike Carlin for carrying a massive load during our COVID response. And it's interesting because I think you all see it, but think about it, it's very behind the scenes. They've worked tirelessly to provide solutions for daily health checks, for testing, for dashboards, for vaccination tracking. They've supported remote working, implemented DocuSign, WebEx, and Zoom, supported a vastly expanding online learning environment. They were all over the place and made it look deceptively easy. In the coming year, they'll be continuing their work in the areas of data analytics and cybersecurity in order to keep our data system safe and running as efficiently and effectively as possible. In research and economic development, led by Dr. Rick Tankersley, he played a major role in our COVID operations and response. Our cross-disciplinary wastewater testing effort was a game changer in helping us stay on top of outbreaks, keeping our infection rates low and our residence hall doors open. A huge thanks goes to Rick and the many individuals across campus who made it happen. Simultaneously, we mentioned record research funding, and he led the R1 Commission to look at what it will take to move UNC Charlotte up to the next level in terms of our research efforts. The communication and rollout of the R1 Commission's report and recommendations will be a key component in the implementation of our new strategic plan and will continue to be a focus of their work during the 2021-22 year. In University Communications, our team has been busy over the last year keeping our campus community and all of our constituents informed of all the things related to COVID. They've also led this rebranding process that we'll be talking about in just a few minutes. With a recent leadership in communications, I'm pleased that Dr. Jen Ames Stewart, who's a faculty member and associate dean in the Belk College of Business, has agreed to fill the role of Associate Vice Chancellor of University Communications on an interim basis. Jen, did you want to stand and say hello? Thank you. The Constituent Relations team, led by Betty Doster, continues to do a masterful job of keeping us informed of legislative issues and advocating for UNC Charlotte and the UNC system, with elected officials making decisions that impact all of us. During the last year, they worked to help secure the largest ever state appropriation for research, which went to our wastewater research initiative. In 2021, we'll be expanding Betty's team to include a corporate engagement unit, which will serve as a one-stop shop for our corporate community. This will greatly enhance important engagement opportunities with the university's corporate partners. In student affairs, led by Vice Chancellor Kevin Bailey, they have clearly worked to support students throughout COVID and to effect positive change while keeping our residence halls and student services operating. I'm pleased to share that our student housing is full for this year, and that students in housing and residence life are amongst our most vaccinated population, and you all know for them to move into campus, they are showing a negative test to be able to move in. Student affairs initiatives on the docket for the upcoming year include expansion of financial literacy and wellness education for our students, establishment of an esports program, and a continued focus on services and practices to enhance diversity and to better serve underrepresented student populations. The Division of Institutional Integrity, under the leadership of Jesh Humphrey, houses legal affairs, Title IX, enterprise risk management, internal audit, and ethics and compliance. I'm looking around to see who's getting excited about that, Jesh. They're all very... Okay. This division has worked proactively to provide important training opportunities across campus using new virtual formats over the last year to keep it all moving along. They're also continually examining and updating our university policies to ensure compliance and equity. In recent months, Jesh has been working closely with Faculty Council President Susan Harden on a policy revision concerning impermissible relationships between students and employees. In athletics, under Mike Hill's leadership, we've had some great gains over the past year, while simultaneously navigating our way through COVID. 4 of our teams advanced to NCAA postseason. 4 teams won their Conference USA championships. We placed first in our conference in all sports rankings, and the number of student athletes named to the Conference USA Commissioner's Honor Roll with a 3.0 GPA, as well as the number of student athletes receiving the Commissioner's Academic Medal with a GPA of 3.75. We have an amazing group of student athletes and coaches, and I look forward to great things to come from them in 2021-22. There have been some changes in our Board of Trustees, with a few longtime members completing their terms and rotating off. Susan DeVore, retired CEO and ongoing advisor to Premier Inc., was elected chair of the Board of Trustees beginning this academic year, filling the slot vacated by Mike Wilson. New members of the board include Wendy Grubbs, Dante Wilson, and Sasha Weintraub. Wendy is a UNC Charlotte alum who's led a distinguished career in legal, governmental, and corporate positions, including serving as special assistant to President George W. Bush. Dante, also a UNC Charlotte alum, is the Chief Digital and Client Experience Officer for Truist Financial Corporation. Sasha is the Senior Vice President of Duke Energy's natural gas business. All 3 new trustees, together with the rest of our board, bring an impressive level of experience and expertise to the role. We're fortunate to have a great board of trustees, and I'm very pleased that a number of alumni are serving in these leadership positions because I know they have a passionate, vested interest in the success of this institution. Clearly, we've accomplished a lot, and we have a lot more to do. During this past year, during very trying times, difficult conversations and painful decisions, it's been refreshing to know that we're all working together, rowing in the same direction, and wanting the best for this university. The culture of UNC Charlotte was one of the main things that drew me to this place. It's evident in the commitment to transparency, the commitment to collegiality that marks every meeting and interaction. It's evident in the campus community's commitment to shared governance. It's evident in the longevity of its leaders. So with an average tenure of 6.5 years for university presidents and chancellors in the US, the fact that I am just the 5th chancellor in this university's 75-year history is simply unheard of. That has everything to do with the culture that's here, and it's part of what makes UNC Charlotte special. So, speaking of what makes this place special, in my earlier comments, I alluded briefly to the rebranding process that we've undertaken as a university. Strengthening our institutional brand is a huge area of opportunity. I believe it's crucial as we seek to raise our profile and academic reputation, not only statewide, but nationally and internationally. I'm not interested in this university continuing to be Charlotte's best-kept secret. I want UNC Charlotte to be the first choice for students seeking an inclusive, real-world educational experience to shape themselves and their communities. I want others to see the university as you and I do, a thriving, high-quality academic institution driven by a bold vision to make meaningful differences in our lives and society as a whole. Over the last year, University Communications researched stakeholder perceptions about the current UNC Charlotte brand for more than 5,000 individuals, including current and prospective students, faculty, staff, alumni, donors, university friends, and business and community leaders. Through these discussions, we were able to determine what sets us apart, what our unique strengths and core values are. We're an inclusive community made up of hardworking, ambitious individuals. We strive to better ourselves at every opportunity. We're committed to a future that benefits everyone, rooted in progress and shared success. And we're doing all of this with a powerful city all around us. So with that in mind, I want to share a little bit of background and show a preview of what's next.
Something incredible has been taking shape at Charlotte. An evolution of our story driven by a more cohesive identity and a bold vision for tomorrow. A powerful declaration that Bonnie Cohn's trailblazing spirit isn't simply part of our history, it's what propels us forward as we fearlessly shape a better future for everyone. Together, with one cohesive brand and Charlotte at the center of our name, we're writing the story of what's next as a city, as a community, as a university. We sought input from more than 5,000 people through multiple surveys and more than 40 focus groups and one-on-one interviews. And we heard loud and clear what mattered most to the people who are at the very heart of our university. Those discussions guided our trajectory and helped us articulate our brand, who we are, what we stand for, and where we're going. They inspired us to fully embrace the limitless potential of the thriving Charlotte region, where deep community ties and cutting-edge ideas go hand in hand with purpose-driven learning, empowering diverse minds to work together to change the world for good. Ultimately, they led us to a symbol that places Charlotte's modern, innovative spirit at the forefront of our identity. Designed by an alumnus, our logo creates visual continuity across our university. It is an icon that represents the power to break new ground, the persistence to discover the unknown, and the promise to build the future. Its unique 9-degree slant represents a fearless drive forward, a quest to make a meaningful difference in the world. It represents not just the power of this fast-growing region, but the unbreakable bond between our university and our community. As we move ahead with one cohesive brand, one powerful story, this mark will become a touchstone in our history. A moment in time when we fully laid claim to our past and set forth a clear vision for the future. Join us on our journey and help us shape what's next for Charlotte.
So, it's fun to watch that, and I sit there and think, for those of you who are joining us, this is an exciting time. We've grown as an institution along with our dynamic city. As we shape what's next, we're bringing our connection and ties with Charlotte to the forefront. To support this new platform and identity, the university changed its website from uncc.edu to charlotte.edu just this morning. And it's funny, I was in my office and saw that up there, and I don't know if anybody else had already taken a look, but it's visible there. In September, a marketing campaign will tout how UNC Charlotte shapes what's next. The campaign leans into the benefits of living and learning in this vibrant city, and how the university is a catalyst for positive progress, not only in Charlotte, but far beyond. The campaign will be the most comprehensive we've had in quite some time, with print placements, billboards, social media, advertising, TV and radio commercials, as well as digital ads. We shared this early imagery with current and prospective students to unanimously positive response. Here's a sneak peek at just a few ads you'll begin seeing in the coming weeks. This campaign will demonstrate that we're fearlessly shaping what's next to make a meaningful difference in society, and there's no better place to do that than here in Charlotte. I hope that you're as excited about this as I am. I'm ready for us to move ahead with one cohesive identity, one powerful story about who we are, what we do, why we do it. I look forward to working with all of you as we continue to shape what's next. I want to thank you very much for being here today, and go Niners.